Let's all stand up. Let's start the national anthem.
Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United, free forever, take together we always stand. Oh, poverty, Uganda, tiamani wanyo ekwangaya fe okweto loresezona twesinenyo olwa Uganda yafe ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyava naffe tukikuumenga sinayimba ntyane sitinda Ssaabasajja Kabaka asaanira afuuke Obuganda bwonna naffe katumwesiga twesinenyo olwa Buganda yaffe ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyava naffe tukikuumenga. Bunyoro, Kitara, tukukuzani naitwe, nitwabana meihanga, abakutamwe kitinisa. Lero Let's humble ourselves for the Lord. Pray. Baba katika Mungu, ukiweza kutumanya wanatinga wanarege, ukiweza kuleta kukichora banafe kumuwanira kutubera wanafe itabaso kutubuka abageze rulindabi ayi kama fuba ni bocha isiro kama ukiweza barobinga fuba na kwabo Bunyoro ikawa Bunyoro n'abayabazina mukama tukusaba bengeri okwa magezi katika Buganda n'onika wa Bunyoro beyongere okulakulanya uwoge wakubaka bwogi kutusaba lumala kutusa ku ntiko ina tubesabye aliwe kulingo fene nituddamu nti yazze tukyuleko. Oweekitiibwa Katikkiro wa Buganda, Oweekitiibwa Andrew Byakutaaga Kirungi ate omukiikiro wa Bunyoro, ab'ekitiibwa mwena twasemererwa okubalobera. Mwebale okuyita, mwebale nnyo. In our culture, on such occasions, the Katikkiro of Buganda usually appoints another Katikkiro to manage such an event. I wish to let you know that I will be your Katikkiro for the moment that you're here. Oweekitiibwa Katikkiro, allow me to introduce ab'ekitiibwa abali mu maaso go. Nja kuba ntula mu Buganda ate mmanyi nti n'abagenyi baffe bajja kuba babalaba nga babawulira. Oweekitiibwa mu maaso go tulina Oweekitiibwa Patrick Wagamugumbule, omukuliriza w'olukiiko lwa Buganda. Oweekitiibwa tulina Oweekitiibwa Noah Kiyimba, minisita w'olukiiko cabinet, abagenyi n'ensonga ez'enjawulo mu ofiisi ya Katikkiro. Oweekitiibwa Christopher Wanika, ssaabawolereza w'obwakabaka bwa Buganda. Oweekitiibwa Joseph Kawuki, minisita wa gavumenti ez'ebitundu, okulambula kwa Kabaka n'ensonga z'abantu ba Buganda ekulu. Oweekitiibwa Israel Kazibwe Kitooke, omwogezi w'obwaminisita w'amawulire, okunga abantu era omwogezi w'obwakabaka omutongole. Tulina Oweekitiibwa Robert Serwanga Saalongo, minisita w'abavubuka, emizannyo n'emikolo. Oweekitiibwa Kotoyira Nakate Kikomeko, minisita w'enkulaakulana y'abantu n'ensonga za ofiisi ya Nabagenge. Tulina Oweekitiibwa Ahmed Magandazi Matofu Kago, era yawerekeddwako omwami w'eggombolola y'ekibuga Namukasa Samuel. Oweekitiibwa ne Ronald Kalungi waali omugambane w'emirimu mu ofiisi ye. Waliwo bannalulungi mukama wange abazze okubeera ku mukolo guno. Kuliko omukyala Maganda Josephine, Miss Tourism Buganda. Kuliko omukyala Nakayemba Beatrice, Miss Tourism Awokota. Kuliko omukyala Namurwana Hilda Victoria, Miss Heritage Buganda. Kuliko omukyala Sanyu Ruth Mugabi, Miss Tourism Kyaddondo. Mukyala Nansikombi Victoria w'Ebusiro. Nakubulwa Jalia w'Ebuvuma. N'ekirabo Esther w'Ekyaggwe. Nsaba ffenna tutemutwanize Katikkiro wa Buganda Oweekitiibwa Charles Kitara. Era mu ngeri y'enjawulo tutemutwanirize omukiikirwa wa Bunyoro Oweekitiibwa Andrew Kirungi ate Byakutaaga. Oweekitiibwa, this moment will remind me of the day President Obama was welcomed to the British Parliament. The Speaker then, MP John Bako, remarked, he said, history is more than a path left by the past. It influences the present and can shape the future. History continued. Isn't a burden of any one man or woman alone, but some are called to meet a special share of its challenges. Indeed, Wekitiibwa Katikkiro and Omuhikira, while you're called to meet a special share of the challenges of our times. In 1300s AD, the Buganda prince was born in the royal court of Bunyoro, Kitara. The prince, named Kitara Bisato Yomere, would later become the third Kabaka of Uganda, and later an instrumental figure in the establishment and strengthening of Uganda Kingdom. On becoming a king, it remains a fact in history that his leadership was greatly influenced by his earlier experiences while growing up as a child. This is seen with his introduction of agriculture and cattle farming in Uganda, which are believed to be his childhood experiences growing up in Bunyoro. So our presence today is a living testimony to our shared heritage and values and the love between the two great institutions that contributed heavily and greatly to the forming of the country called Uganda. Of course, all great relationships are tested. Admittedly, ours got on from the wrong foot with many battles and wars of expansion and fighting experiences. But as the old adage goes, from Guano, it's been smooth sailing ever since. It's a fact of history that one cannot talk about Uganda without mentioning Bunyoro, and the reverse is true. It's also true that whenever Bunyoro and Uganda sit on the same table of agreement, something great happens in this region. I believe something great is going to happen if they have today. In the words of Dr. King, we are all poles in an unstable network of mutuality, tied in the single garment of destiny. Whatever affects Buganda directly affects Bunyoro, either directly or indirectly. And the reverse is true. Therefore, our presence here today is a manifestation of the bond between two great kingdoms, and our continuous engagement is the cement to this relationship. We believe that future generations will bend more towards the values that bind us together, and the people of our times and the future will keep this relationship and respect it. Omuhikira Bunyoro Abichin Samwena, I once again welcome you here as the Katikkiro of this function. Twasabira okubalula mwebale nno okwijja. At this juncture, I would like to invite the Katikkiro officially to welcome his guests and give us his remarks. Thank you so much.
My brother and colleague from Hikirwa of Bunyoro, I'm sure when Hikirwa is going to deliver his speech, he will introduce members of his team. But you're most welcome in Uganda. It's not very far from here to Hoima, but we know that the bridge at Kafu, I think, has been swept away by rain, or at least vehicles can't cross. So Miki will have to travel all the way through Masindi, which makes the distance longer, but we're very happy that you managed to make it. historic, like the particular of this function has said, because the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bunyoro is visiting the seat of an old kingdom. And I'll be directed by South Africa to welcome you most warmly, Buganda. South Africa extends his felicitations to Rutabasaija Solomon Gafao Saiguru and members of the royal family. The Kabaka wishes the Omukama good health and looks forward to strengthening the cooperation between Uganda and Bunyoro for the good of the people of the two kingdoms and indeed for the good of all Ugandans. Nearly all the communities of Uganda are interrelated. For the kingdom areas, we can all trace a common ancestry. I think they were traced dynasty. Or we can trace our ancestry to the Bantu migration, which I'm sure all of us learned about in history. Whatever our origins, there is clear evidence of interactions between Uganda and Bunyoro, like the MC has elucidated, for hundreds of years before the advent of colonialism. Our interactions regularly led to war, and the recent history of the two kingdoms is characterized by these wars. But these wars were not tribal. The wars between Uganda and Bunyoro were over resources. Iron was an important resource in the past because iron was the raw material required for the manufacturing of arms. And the arms were spears, they were arrows, they were swords. And iron ore deposits, many of them were in the hands of Bunyoro. There was some deposits, even up to today. We know that Bunyoro is rich with salt deposits, among other things, even oil. And salt was such a rare and precious commodity. Cattle. The MC talked about introducing cattle keeping in Uganda because of the experiences he had had in Bunyoro. Cattle was a big commodity. In fact, there is a saying in Uganda, which comes from ages back, which expresses the importance of cattle. And when we fought to raid the kraals and take the cattle, I don't know how they crossed the river careful with those cattle, but they raided the trade cattle. And women, I don't know whether it is gentlemanly to refer to women as being a resource in the past. Presently, there is an artist who sang a song in which he is called his woman, his wife is property. And some activists took him to court. I think 2 years ago, they took him to court. But they were a resource. In all communities, it's simple. It's the mothers who bear children. It is that simple and straightforward. There is no way you're going to expand your community unless you put the mothers who are going to give birth to the children. They were a resource. And young people, the youths, were a resource. They would be used to fight wars, they would be used for labor, for all sorts of things, for serving the king and the chiefs. So we fought wars, but they were all resources. But of course, the Bunyoro army was under the ban of being called the Bunyoro army, and the Buganda army was under the ban being referred to as the Buganda army. Every army fights under a given name. It is going to work and win wars. So the wars would be described as being fought by the armies of Bunyoro or Buganda. But the wars must have a name because they must have, the armies must have a central command if they're going to win. I'm trying to emphasize that these wars were not tribal, even if they were referred to as armies of Buganda or armies of Bunyoro. But later history has given them a tribal description, tribal wars, which is erroneous. And to prove that the wars between Buganda and Bunyoro were not tribal, whoever claimed victory wouldn't carry out a massacre, or ethnic cleansing, or a genocide. On the contrary, the vanquished people would be incorporated into especially the clan system, and they became part of the community. There is no evidence in history that any kind of ethnic cleansing would take place after all these wars. Never. Of course, during battle people died, no doubt. But after the battle was over, people would instead be incorporated, especially in the clan system. It's little wonder, therefore, that Kitara came with 5 clans to Buganda when he was coming to the interim, that period when Buganda didn't have a king, a Kabaka on the throne. He came with 5 clans. Some of the most profound clans of Buganda, like the Chima, which still were Kauchi, is of the Chima clan. And I always tell you that you will know. Like the Ngami, my mother is of the Ngami clan, which still were Bugandas. Is my culture. Is the county chief of Chadon where we are. I always tell my mother that it looks so good, you must be from Bunyoro. Like a Mogo. And you know, Wanyana, the mother of Chimera, when she was tired, she was carried shoulder high by members of the Mogo clan. That's why up to this day, members of the Mogo clan are the ones who shoulder the Kabaka. It comes from that moment when I was carried shoulder high. And many other clans. Today, with better understanding of the dynamics of our societies in pre-colonial times, we must reject the divisions that colonialism planted between African peoples. We've got better understanding. We should get better interpretation of history. In any case, of what use is the divisions. The formation of modern states like Uganda, modern wars. That formation of those states comes with the necessity to address the demands or needs of a modern society. What matters to the people of Bunyoro today is I'll cite a few examples. We all pray for education of the people in our kingdoms. We all are educated. We all educate our children. Education is a tool that we all need to exploit the existing opportunities, whether you are in Bunyoro or in Buganda. Another example, Buganda and Bunyoro both need healthy populations. It is that straightforward. Both our heritages are about the people. We cannot savor, we cannot enjoy our culture, our traditions, our norms, when the people are not in good physical conditions. If we fought HIV together, for example, I need not labor that a lot. Another example is the fight against poverty. The greatest source of humiliation for Uganda, the greatest source of humiliation for Bunyoro, and the greatest source of humiliation for Buganda is poverty. That is the greatest source of humiliation. A man in Bunyoro who doesn't have a decent roof over his head, one who cannot feed his family or provide them with clean and sufficient water, among other needs, cannot fully appreciate the heritage of Bunyoro Kitara. I don't believe it. A hungry man cannot appreciate his history, his heritage, his traditions, the ways of life of his people. He cannot. The same applies to a deprived man in Buganda. So, economic development or economic deprivation applies to both of us in equal measure. Another example is that we both need to work together to jealously guard our cultural rights. You cannot have Uganda if you don't have Bunyoro. Because Bunyoro is thousands of years old. You cannot have Uganda unless you have Acholi, or Karamoja, or Uganda, or Toro. Because Uganda is that young. I always refer to Uganda as a young country, which is true. The borders of Uganda, as we see them, were crystallized in 1926. My father was 13 years of age at that time. Uganda is that young. Of course, independence comes only 61 years ago. But Bunyoro has been here for thousands of years. So if you want to have a strong Uganda, you need to have a strong Bunyoro. The communities of Uganda are like the parts of our bodies. You can't have a weak leg and you think it's okay because you don't think with the leg, you think with the brains or the head. You can't have a weak arm and you say it's okay because I walk with legs, I don't walk with arms. You can't have a sick eye and you say it doesn't matter. Or a small toe when you knocked against the stone. You can't say I'm going to ignore it because that's a small toe anyway. That's how Uganda is. So we need to have strong entities. And these strong entities are what constitutes Uganda. The beauty of Uganda must not be in the flora and fauna. No, it should start with the people. So the cultural rights of the different people of Uganda should be guarded. We should give each other space to enjoy our cultural modes. We should respect what other people cherish. That's how we shall build a strong Uganda. No other way. Uganda is not an omelette. Because with an omelette, you must break the egg. Uganda is a peacock bird. many feathers, different colors, beautiful big bird. That's what Uganda is, in my opinion. So we need to jointly work for our overall rights and freedoms, plus the social well-being of the people of Bunyoro and the people of Buganda. When we visited Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom in July 2023, we were in Bunyoro Kitara at the invitation of the oil companies. They wanted us to see what's going on with regards to the exploration of oil. And we were very keen to see, because as we all know, oil is what is described as the African curse, and we were concerned that that would happen to us. We want to know, because, I was particularly interested in the environment. Because social media was awash with rumors that the environment in Bunyoro had been destroyed. Those were the rumors. And that oil had been stolen. There were all these rumors. And that the people of Bunyoro were not being catered for in any way. I was interested, I was worried, because you see, this body called Uganda is constituted by one piece called Bunyoro. So if Bunyoro is affected negatively in that way and don't get affected eventually. So we're interested to see, but what we discovered was very good, by the way. But when we were there, where he most warmly received us, we talked about the need to work together in a number of areas. I'm glad to introduce some of the members of our committee who will work with your committee to identify areas of possible collaboration. In my letter to the week, I mentioned agriculture, I mentioned tourism. I'm glad we've got the beauties from, some of the beauties from Buganda. Yes. Yeah, my mothers of the Uganda are beautiful, but also we got more beautiful. We talked about tourism, we talked about a number of areas, education, health. So that committee, all our part is chaired by Joseph Kauchi. Some of the members of Robert Serwanga is the minister in charge of the youth, sports, and the arts. About 75% of the subjects of the Kabaka are young. I'm sure that the same applies to the subjects of the Umkam. So when we build a collaboration, I think it's important to involve the young people, because after all, the future is theirs. There's also Israel Kasiwe, who is the minister in charge of information and the spokesperson of the kingdom, but also mobilization. We go to technical people that are not here, the permanent secretary of the cathedral's office, and the chief executive officer of the Uganda Investments and Commercial Enterprises Limited, Roland Sewufu. That company, Kitara, is the one which the investment arm of the kingdom. When we work on projects with third parties, the Uganda Investments and Commercial Enterprises Limited, does all the necessary work to ensure that these are genuine investors, for example. What they find is submitted to the Attorney General to ensure that whatever collaborations they establish follow the law. It's very important. So those are members of the team. So we hope they will be able to work with your team, the young people who have sports. The young people are very keen on sports. The Masasa Cup is very, very prominent here in Uganda. The Vika tournament is very prominent. And many other areas. The youths, the arts, now the singers, the dancers, they are very powerful people these days. an artist, if they mention one of the artists, if I told them that, let's say, I don't know who I should mention. Which artist should I mention? Spice. Who says Spice? Oh, the Molecular's delegation likes Spice. If I said Spice Diana is coming here, the entire population of men will be here. So the ministers in charge of the arts will try and help the young people develop their talents. So there are areas where we can collaborate for the good of the people who know and Buganda. Finally, I would like to pass on a personal thank you to Nikiwa Andrew Yautana, because he's my colleague. We occupy the same office, and I know the challenges that come with his offices. And in the last 6 years since he assumed the office, from a distance I've been watching, and I think, I don't want to speak for Bunyoro because even if I'm a kiki, which was even in the presence of the Omukama, don't joke with me. But watching from a distance and watching him go through the challenges and keeping the kingdom programs together is a daunting task for which really make us very, very proud. Thank you very much for promoting the kingdom of Bunyoro and fighting for the kingdom of Bunyoro, keeping the people of Bunyoro together behind the Omukama. It's a daunting task, and I thank you for the 6 years you've been in the office. But also thank you on a personal note for receiving us most warmly. It was a big honor for me to stand before the Omukama and pass on my greetings. So I thank you very much. And I thank you because when we were in Bunyoro, they said, you should come to visit Buganda. And a few months after we were here, we are very happy. And we should continue working together. I'm sure history will say that we tried to make the people of Buganda and Bunyoro work together for a common good. If nothing else, at least history probably will say that. For me, that would be satisfactory. Tusabise nnyo okulaba Muganda wange ono okufaananya emirimu wamu n'ekibinja kyazze nakyo. Ssaabasajja Kabaka wa Buganda amanyi ebyewasa nga bagamba tebagala kusaabula musaayi gwabwe. Omwana w'ono nga Muganda w'oyo akaafumbira omwana w'oyo bawasa omwana w'oyo omusaayi tusalira kati musaabuluse ne balwala ne bafa nnyo ate ne bafuna n'entalo ez'obukulembeze. Bagamba abamu nti awo ewaava obwakabaka nk'obwe Bunyoro, Kitara, obwa Buganda. Omuhikirwa n'ekibinja kye bo bagamba nti Kimera yali mulangira w'e Bunyoro, era nati Muganda bw'anaaba akyogere sijja kukyewuunya. Sikifaako n'akamu n'akeddagala kubanga bye tufaanana ebyo bingi n'abantu ffe tumanyi nti Kimera mwana wa Mulanga Kalemera bamwanangusa Bunyoro nga yekoze ekyeyo Kabaka Chwa olulebiri Twanabaka bakafuna bakabaka batwali Twanabaka ne Katikkiro we ne bawamwangusa Omulanga Kalemera Bunyoro ne bamulaba ng'erakireyo omutango byembaddengerako ebyobugagga ebyaliyo. Kaakati ebyenzaali abadda n'afa teyatuuka Buganda, era Buganda yali terina okumala emyaka 20. Kaakati abeefumba ennaku ne bawakanya nnyo Walusimiro Sero era ayagala kwewakanya Obwakabaka ne bakima Kimera eyakuumibwa ab'enkima ate Kimera yali ebika bingi tugamba Bunyoro egamba nti nno kimera mulanga we Bunyoro zisikifaako kubanga eddala ddala ebitugatta bingi nnyo yajja n'ebika bitaano mulina n'Obunyoro ono tulaba olw'okusiima kalungi entawo zetwalabanga n'Ebunyoro tizaali za mawanga nga bwe batuyimba mu byafaayo bye tusoma. Omanyi ebyafaayo bw'obisoma olina okubisaako omwoyo n'obisengejja n'obikenenula n'oddamu ekituufu. Entawo zaali za byanfuna. Buganda bwe yabonanga n'Ebunyoro n'egaziya oba ensalo zaayo ngenda okugyayo byanfuna mwalimu amayinja okuva ekyuma ne baweesa obusaale, obwambe, enkumbi n'ebirala. Waliyo omunnyu, waliyo ente, waliyo abakazi abato. Era singa tutwadde mu biseera eby'entawo ziri ez'edda musimanyi oba bamwandi bawonya Abanyoro n'abavubuka. Ebyo byali byanfuna kubanga abawala be bazaala, abavubuka be balwana mu ntalo bakola emirimu. Kale kikulu nnyo ab'omulembe guno tutegeera ebyafaayo byaffe nga bwe birina okubeera. Abazungu bwe bajja bagamba nga tuli mu ntalo z'amawanga, kakati naffe ne twakyalirawo ne tukubagana mu ngeri etatuyamba. Ate ne bwetwefuga twatambulira nnyo mu ndowooza naye okulaga nti ento zino tizaali za mawanga. Teri yawangulanga n'agenda n'atamaka abantu n'emitwe. Tugambe bwe twala ne Rwanda nga batamaka abantu emitwe. Oli yawangulanga bawangudde ng'abayingiza naddala mu bika. Era okirabira abajulizi bano aba Uganda bangi nnyo baali bava Bunyoro, Gandu, Kagwa, Ozalikawa n'abalala. Lubigo, Adolfu Lubigo naye yali Bunyoro bangi ng'ate basendedde. Kati singa zino ntalo zaali z'amawanga, Andrew Kagwa yagw'amaanyi nnyo mubagalagala weereza Kabaka ali kumpi ne Kabaka. Singa walimu entalo ez'amawanga baakyamusembeza kubanga luli Buganda yali yekolera ebintu byayo naye nga bamusembeza. Ne bajjanga ebusooka nga Matya Mulumba. Matya Mulumba yali kumpi nnyo n'omwami w'essingo Mwenda. Era bamugamba nti Katikkiro Mukasa yatta abajulizi bano nga batidde etolo bajja kuvaamu abaami babyeko ebifo nakyo kyaliwo. Kale tezaali ntalo za mawanga, zaali za byanfuna. N'olwekyo tufaawo tubayirize ebyetegereza tukitapute bulungi, kijja kuyamba emirembe egiyinza okolagana. Ate kakati tulina bingi ebifaanana. Obwetaavu obulw'obwegumu byabamu byanjiriza kulwanyisa bwavu. Teri kituweekula mu Africa nga bwavu. Omuntu atalina mmere waka, atalina mazzi galugakunywa amazzi kubanga abantu bangi balina amazzi mayonjo. Omuntu atalina waasula tayinza kutegeera byafaayo byafaayo mu kitalo, tasobola n'akatono aba yeerimba. Kati nawo mu Buganda kyekyo. Ensonga ezo tuzifaananya. N'olwekyo nze ndowooza nti tukolaganira awamu ne tuzongera eddagala kijja kuyamba nnyo abantu baffe okulaakulana. Era nze ndi musanyufu nnyo kuba bwe twajja e Bunyoro muganda wange ono yayogera bwetaavu bw'okukolagana. Katuwuna atukyali era twatulawo akakiiko kenyanjudde tetusuubira ttaka kumira okunoonya ebiraamo gyetusobola okukolaganiramu byabulamu, byanjigiriza, byamizannyo, byabwangwa, byabulambuzi. Abantu bajja kuganyulwa nnyo era nze ndowooza naffe abakulembeze tunaaba tukoze bakama baffe kye batwagaza kulaba ng'abantu tukyusa embeera z'obulamu. Uganda agamba nti akatono kazira ku liiso. Ndowooza n'omunyoro gwagamba. Kale amasiro gano ag'ekasubi kabonero keyambisa nnyo okulaga ebyafaayo byaffe. Ate nga bwe tugambye bazzukulu ba Kimera bali muno bana balamba. Awo nno ssebo bw'onooba ofunye wookateeka ng'Aboluganda. Kano katabo butabo naye bakatikkiro bawandiika nnyo. Kakati ono Muganda wange ate okubanga awandiika ebintu bingi bakatikkiro bawandiika. Ate engeri gye muwadde ekitabo era kiba kirungi ne muwerako ekkalaamu y'anaawandiisa mu kitabo. We are very, very happy to receive you today, and we wish you a pleasant stay in Buganda. God bless you all. Let me use this opportunity to invite my brother and colleague to address us.
Before all this here this morning. Thank you very much. Otiibwa nkubiriza w'olukiiko lwa Buganda, Ssabawolereza, members of cabinet who are here, members of our delegation, all the invited guests this morning, the technical staff of Buganda, Bunyoro Kingdom, I thank you for welcoming us this morning. We are very grateful. But before I go ahead with my remarks, I will request that my delegation does actually self-introduction so that we can know the people with whom we travel this morning for the time.
Obalize kurungi wagamba bikaba by'obusuubuzi bikaba byanfuna hatabo bunyanzibwa hagati y'Abanyoro n'Abaganda obuzaaliranwa ebigambo ebyo bikalangirwa Captain Bugatti biweehandikira ebigambo ebyo yatumbye ekintu ekyo ekyo kiribanja kusoboora ekyalo butabe bunaazibwa obuzaaliranwa kyataawo bunaazibwa obuzaaliranwa hagati y'Abanyoro n'Abaganda. Obwonyeeko obwire bwaitu ndisobola ebintu ebyo obujwire okuba bingi bikaserekwa bino ekisekegenza ntusamu ebipeeka kikaba nikikikaita n'omwana wabandi mwana obisi kimutunira ngomwi mpikiriza okakatasigaikufere Kyekyo kirabaza omukama waitu n'akabaka Kitara n'okusinga kandi tukiri sireikuuna katukukaona tubambire ndio naye masomesa abaana bali mu masomero ekitiibwa nagenda mu bigambo ebyo okwebyo okutungira akebi nyondesa okuwulira ebyokukirako abokuba bikozire mu research ekyomulebe waitu Katikkiro wa Buganda, waitu Katikkiro waitu Muhikirwa, cabinet members from Buganda Kingdom, Bunyoro omukama semereirwe na nyowe kuba ninyowe Mugenyi Fred Mchunya kandi ndi okwiri w'omukama bwa Bunyoro Kitara. Okwiri aba chief prince gondi Buganda n'omugamba Saabalangira. It is my first time to be here. It has been the Okwiri for the last 10 years. I wonder why.